Hey, I guess here goes nothing. Um, yeah. Hi. Uh, just to kind of not sure where to start, but to start somewhere, I think it's gonna be the main message. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be turning 40. So by the time this is out, hopefully it's out on my birthday, which is tomorrow. So we're actually recording this a day before. But I've it's quite the milestone. Definitely not exactly where I thought I'd be at 40, but I have definitely learned a lot of things along the way. Good, bad. I think it just kind of comes with the experience of living up until this point. I mean, obviously people live different experiences, but I think what drove me to start doing something like this is the the concept and the idea of time because ultimately for what I've done up to this point is I spent a lot of time. And when you look at time, it's it's something that you can never really get back. So people say to spend time wisely, but we spend it in so many different ways where you can do it doing either something you love or something that you hate. But at the same time, I think the idea of spending it, you have to learn how to make peace with the things that you have, or at least gain something from it, because there's just you can never really get it back, and you kind of hope that time teaches you things that are hopefully valuable in let's say life. So that being said, I decided to start a podcast. And the podcast is going to be pretty much based on the construct of time because we spend it in more ways than one. Um, hopefully, we try to do things more on the good side than the bad, but ultimately, it's time that we spend, and I think sharing time together, or at least understanding how people spend their time, I think can really try to help people connect a little bit more. And I think that's the beauty of it. So, as almost daunting as time can be, I think there's a lot of value that we can definitely gain from the time we spend. So, I don't want to rant on too long, but this is going to be a very personal passion project that I'm going to start. And I promised myself to start this on my 40th birthday, which is just going to be a couple hours from now. But I'm hoping you, as my audience, have an opportunity to enjoy some of the conversations that I have on this podcast, and hopefully it finds you well, and hopefully it's helpful. But I mean, try not to rant on too long here, but it's pretty much it's going to be a very interesting journey. And I just want to say, for the ones that do join me on this journey, either I have guests, people that are important to me, or just a random individual. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Now, you can go on ranting a little bit more. Obviously, we're going to make edits to this, but it's only 4 minutes in, and it's only the tip of the iceberg because it's only the beginning of the year. I learned something pretty interesting. Not necessarily learned, but I kind of started to reflect a little bit. Obviously, we had this huge snowstorm here in New England, at least a foot of snow. Um, went out shoveling pretty late last night, roughly around like 6 o'clock. Got halfway done my driveway. Luckily, my landlord, my roommate, was able to get a tow truck to kind of, or a plow truck rather, to plow the rest of the driveway. So that was nice. So I ended up just finishing up shoveling the walkway, this and pretty much the stairs up to my apartment. And I had a moment where I took time to just enjoy that peacefulness. I sat down, just kind of looked at the streetlights and just kind of watched the snow fall because it actually started snowing again, figures. But it was quite nice to kind of be present in that moment and almost feel kind of peaceful. And then my neighbor comes out, actually from his side, and I hear the door shut. He's having a cigarette, and we actually just kind of have a small conversation. We shared a conversation together, and just kind of agreed that shoveling sucks. But hey, it's part of living in New England. Um, tried making some small talk. Tried talking about the Patriots because obviously we were going to the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, he was a Pittsburgh fan, but other than that, he's a nice guy. I remember always actually kind of crossing paths with him every now and then. He'll have his dog. Actually, he'll walk his dog at like 5 in the morning. Um, he has a little black dog named Levi, and whenever I'd wake up to get to work, I'd always kind of like bump into him. So, but yeah, it's just I don't know. You kind of try to appreciate these small moments that we have, and sometimes you never know how long you're gonna have them. So, I think time is just something that we all need to appreciate a little bit more. And as far as the name of the podcast, it's going to be called the Time Vault. No refunds because we spend time in the past and the present, and we try to spend in the future to see what it can make of us. And yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty interesting journey. Yeah. Oh yeah, I gotta clap. I didn't clap at the beginning. Oh no, for the sound check. Clap. What do you think? Yeah, I didn't rant on too long. It ended up getting to the 7 minute mark when I told that story, but yeah, just to kind of talk about small things and just I see we can dig in a little bit deeper once these episodes kind of come out a little bit more. But yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. Yeah, we'll cut it from there, but always make edits. Yeah. All right, we'll cut.